Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. I hope everybody's week went well. We're almost in there. Okay, we have a lot of big stories in here besides the Oprah backpedaling on the interview, or the show, as I like to call it. It's come out that it looks like Meghan Markle really upset one of the chefs, an Australia's top chef. So there's a lot to cover in here. So let's just jump in and get busy, shall we? Let's go. Believe it or not, we're going to start off with Crown Princess Meta married. Her husband, Crown Prince Haakon, gave an update on her. Remember last month she had a lung transplant after battling pulmonary fibrosis since her diagnosis in 2018. He said things are improving, but it's only the beginning of a long road to recovery. We know she's been discharged from the hospital 2 weeks after being placed on a transplant list. And we also know that her son, as I told you before, is out of jail on house arrest while he's appealing all of his convictions. Well, I'm glad she's improving. Let's continue. Let's move on to Princess Beatrice and her husband, Edo Mapelli-Mosey. They had a picture taken together in Athens, Greece. We know that they just had their 6th wedding anniversary. Anyway, they were at some sort of an art place, and the woman took a picture of the two of them and then put another picture up of herself. And listen, I hope things are going well for them. I really do. Let's move on to Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. She is president of the UK Fashion and Textile Association. She paid a visit to the National Weaving to honor British textile manufacturing's contribution to the economy. This took place on July 21st, and it recognizes the important contribution that British textile manufacturing continues to make to the UK economy and celebrates innovation, craftsmanship, and skilled workforce behind the leading woven label manufacturer. It's a family business with almost 40 years of experience, and they've done woven labels, ribbons, and branding products from its factory. Anne learned about the origins of the company. She saw the history room, a new visitor and meeting space. She unveiled a plaque. She looked at some pictures, some milestones. Great, good for her. I'm glad she had a good visit. Next up, but sticking with Anne, the Bristol site where the steamship, the SS Great Britain, is docked, was rebranded to unveil a major development. It is now a museum. It's the SS Great Britain Experience Museum at the Great Western Dockyard. So on the 20th, Anne went there. She smashed a bottle, against the ship. Her fabulous husband, Sir Tim Lawrence, was with her, and they're really hoping that this transforms into a wider cultural and learning campus by 2030. They added 2,000 square feet of brand new exhibition space, and you can buy tickets and go in. Love it. Let's move on now to King Charles and Queen Camilla. They opened up one of their gardens to the UK Flower Show, the Sandringham Flower Show, and they attended the opening day, which was hosted by the Horticulture Society. It's an annual exhibition of flower arranging and cultivation that's been held there every year since 1881, but this is the first time it's ever hosted the event at the King's private Sandringham estate. Remember, I told you guys it was announced earlier that they're going to host the event every 3 years, with the next flower show at the royal residence in 2029. And in the interim years, management will return to the Sandringham Estate Cottage Horticultural Society Trust, which has run the show for years. So Charles and Camilla arrived by horse-drawn carriage from Sandringham House. They greeted the crowds of onlookers and fellow flower lovers. They spent time touring the Royal Legacy Garden, which the King helped design in collaboration with Catherine MacDonald, and the monarch dubbed the final result fantastic. Camilla presented Her Majesty the Queen's Special Award for Upcycled Container Garden to a bee-themed exhibition designed and created by students at the nearby Church of England Primary School. So a lot of hard work went into that. And the King looked really delighted by an exhibit where flowers were planted in an upcycled toilet tank. Oh my goodness. He also shared a laugh with a well-wisher who called out to let him know that he looked good for his age and that he looked just like his mother. That's what she said if you read her lips. Absolutely amazing. Now for the rest of this, I'm just going to put on some fabulous music so you guys can look at the pictures, sit back and enjoy all the exhibitions. Here we go. That was their video they put out, in case you didn't figure that out. A big thank you to Carol M. and to Remoulade Sauce, as usual, for showing us everything Camilla was wearing and also showing us the tie that Charles was wearing. I thought it was really nice. He's so dapper the way he dresses. Let's continue. Moving on, we knew it was Louis's birthday. What we didn't know was that Kensington Palace was going to put out a fabulous video about it. Of course, I had to change the music for copyright, but here you go. King Charles wished his grandson, Prince George, a happy birthday. I don't care who you are or which side of the fence you're on, that is one good-looking kid. All right, let's move on. All right, next up, I already told you guys that the Duchess of Edinburgh was at the Royal Wealth Show, but what I didn't know until some pictures came out was that they had the entire team of Girl Guiding Cymru girls and volunteers there. And they had the opportunity to meet Sophie because she's the official patron of Girl Guiding, for those of you who don't know. So they got to spend some time, and the Deputy Chief Commissioner proudly introduced the group to Sophie. And by the way, in case I haven't said it before, I really am loving that new shorter haircut on her. I think it fits her really well. Gorgeous. All right, time to move on. Let's move on to Harry. Robert Jobson has basically come out and said that Harry is sucking up to his father for exposure and money. And now, of course, Harry's going on and on saying that he wants more visits with his father. I'm sure he does. He's impacted by the fact that he's living with cancer, and the emotion is there to see his grandchildren. And of course, Charles is blinded by a father's love for his son. So this is a dangerous situation. I have to agree. His father has to realize he's not just pa, he's not just grandpa, he's the king. And he is there as guardian and steward for the crown for his other son, Prince William, heir to the throne. And his slow creep of allowing Harry back into the fold is not what the public wants. Harry's trashed the monarchy, cashed in on the monarchy, and people don't want him back. Charles needs to grow a pair and tell him no. That's why Harry wants to move to Australia, a Commonwealth country, and work for the crown while still trying to earn money on the side, and that they're just not entertaining it. All right, let's move on. Let's move on now to Top Chef Australia. Looks like Meghan the Bully bullied some people on the show. This is not good. Okay, first of all, let me thank Princess Markle for pointing out that while all the other women were in light pastels, Meghan wore black because she wanted to stand out against everybody else. A big thank you to Milano Returns for finding this cover, which is coming out, I believe it's the 27th. You know, once a bully, always a bully. And a big thank you to How to Fake 2 Pregnancies on Twitter for finding these articles. They're saying behind the scenes there was drama on set that took the spotlight. That Meghan was deeply upset when the judge introduced her as royalty instead of as Meghan Markle. And then while the introduction was not correct, she asked that the term royal not be used to avoid fueling debate over her current status. Apparently, while things looked picture perfect on screen, there was a lot of tension simmering beneath the surface. And they're saying that what you're going to see on the screen is not what actually happened on set, that it was awkward. We are aware that one of the judges introduced Meghan as royalty, but it's understood that the team and Meghan were frustrated after that happened because supposedly, allegedly, they specifically said don't use the term royalty, which of course they did. So they're saying that this woman felt like she'd been unintentionally drawn into a royal protocol issue that she didn't intend to be a part of, and she wanted to reach out and personally apologize to Meghan, but was advised against it. So she thinks she did a faux pas, which I don't think she did. I'm sure Meghan was happy to be announced as royalty. And then when this woman wanted to reach out and apologize, she was told no. The promo finally came out. You guys can listen to this.
It is one of the most talked about television appearances in recent memory. And finally, we have a taste of what was cooked up in the Masterchef kitchen when Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, stopped by.
The Masterchef kitchen has never been short on surprises, but this one takes the cake.
Is everyone ready? Here we go. I loved it. I loved watching all the guys hug and connect and just be proud of each other because they've all worked really hard.
The Duchess of Sussex is no stranger to cooking in front of cameras. Her TV series with Love Meghan is up for an Emmy. But setting a cooking challenge was a taste of something different.
All right, so you have quite the bounty here. Really wanted to do things that gives you something to play with. So you have, of course, some citrus, you have lemon, you have macadamia nuts, some beautiful local Australian honey, Brussels sprouts. My kids eat Brussels sprouts.
That's impressive.
There aren't many other parents who could truthfully say their kids eat Brussels sprouts, but there are probably plenty keen to see just how Meghan fares in the high-pressure kitchen, this close to the pointy end of the competition.
There is a lot of pressure in this kitchen. I don't like to cook that way. I like to cook in a really relaxed fashion. So all I could say to the competitors was to just remember to have fun, to keep a sense of humor about it, and to cook from the heart.
During a tour of the pantry, she spotted a Meghan signature item.
Some edible flowers.
Edible flowers.
Love that.
A wise contestant might include them, as Meghan often did on her show.
Flower sprinkles, if we must. It doesn't need to be big for a party. It's how you incorporate these practices every day. Food and cooking to me is really a love language. I think it's such a great way to connect. It's something that can feel sentimental and meaningful, and it's how I show my nurture.
But now we know there's a lot that went on behind the scenes that we are not going to see. And just as an FYI, Camilla and Charles were on Masterchef back in 2018. And a big thank you to Luna B2 on Twitter for pointing that out. Now, two more things I want to point out. Number one, Meghan didn't seem to care that the contestants were told to create a dish fit for a duchess. So she didn't want to be introduced as a duchess, but that didn't bother her. And the other thing, we have a massive mask slip. That chef had the nerve to reach out and touch Meghan. And Meghan had a massive mask slip. She looked very unhappy. The woman removed her hand, and then Meghan just looked like she'd bit on a lemon. Drama just follows her. All right, let's move on. And finally, here we go. Oprah revisited with Vanity Fair one of her viral moments from her 2021 interview with Harry and Meghan, and she actually defended what she said to Harry and Meghan. So I'm going to let you listen to this, and you tell me if you remember this. By the way, you know what? I'm not going to play what Meghan said. I'll read it to you because every time I put anything from the Oprah show into a video, it gets red flagged by YouTube. So you're just going to have to put up with me reading it. Here we go. It says, I've always valued independence. I've always been outspoken, especially about women's rights. I mean, that's the sad irony, is that after all these years, I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice. And then, hand signal, I was silent. And Oprah goes, were you silent or were you silenced? And Meghan goes, the latter. So what Oprah is trying to do is clarify why she said what she said. And if you don't remember, here's what she said.
Okay, very nice. I don't think I've done it since. I don't know where the hell that came from. Whoop. Okay. I wanted to be clear because was she silenced? Were people telling her not to talk? That's why I said that. I said it for clarification because I didn't want later to hear, well, no, it wasn't that. It really was that I was silenced. They wouldn't let me talk. So it was all for clarification.
So here we are 5 years later, and I'm looking at it as Oprah is trying to rewrite history. Because we already know there are 17 or 18 things that Meghan said that were absolutely debunked. So instead of interviewing Meghan, which by the way, she's saying it took 3.5 hours to do the interview, instead of interviewing Meghan and then going back and fact checking everything she said and then calling her back and saying, what do you think about this? Or why did you say that? Because that's not true. It looks like 5 years on, Oprah's trying to distance herself from Harry and Meghan and what went on with that interview. Because let's just clarify, she's wiped it from the internet. You can't find the interview anywhere. And by the time she was done, people were calling the royal family racists, and people were hating and sending death threats to the Wales children. And now Harry and Meghan's popularity is going down the drain. You never see Oprah with them anymore. So now she's trying to distance herself from it. Yeah, it's a little too late for that. Yeah, we all know what's going on here. All right, you guys, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to our Twitter, Gettr, Rumble, email, a link to my father's book, which remains up for sale on Amazon, a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.